Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about PLC. Let's start with its introduction. So PLC, it is programmable logic controller. Okay, generally what is controller? A controller is used to control some operations. Fine, that is what controller meant to it, right? Okay, so PLC is a dedicated controller specially used in an industry. Okay, so PLC are used in every aspect of industry to expand and enhance its production. For its production only, mainly PLCs were introduced in the industry. Okay, so in generally the definition of PLC can be, it is a unit of hardware used to control and automate the industrial process. Fine. So let me share the evolution of PLC image. So this is the evolution of PLC. So once upon a time we were into the manual control. Okay. So can you find an image over here? A man who is operating a hand valve by looking into the temperature gauge. Okay. He's very nearer to the furnace. According to the temperature range, he is going to change the hand valve. Okay. Do you think it is really safe for a human being who is always nearer to the furnace? Obviously no. And the second thing, as an industry point of view, obviously we are losing a precision and accuracy over here. Fine. So this is the main problem in a manual control. Okay, that's what we have shifted to the hardware control. Okay, so what is this hardware control? This is nothing but a relay control system. Okay, so older automated systems were used hundreds and thousands of relays. Okay, so obviously we know relay, right? It is a electromagnetic switch. Okay, for to make a simpler simple control system, we are in need of more wires to make it possible. Okay, so a single PLC unit can replace the hundreds and thousands of relays. Okay, that is the main thing. That's what we have faced so much of difficulty in this hardware control. So one of the main disadvantage over here is it is really tough to find where the fault occurs. If, for example, in a simple control system, there is one error in a wiring, okay, and it's really hard to find because we are into thousands of wires. Okay, there is one statement in the control industry. They will tell the relay control system as if the fault is happening means it is 5 hours to find the fault and 5 minutes to fix it. Okay, that is one of the main disadvantage in this hardware control system. That's what we have moved into the electronics control, which is nothing but a PCB designing and all. Okay, so there was a problem with the troubleshooting and the cost also. Okay, that's what we have shifted to the PLC control. Okay, PLC is a specialized computer used to control the machine and the process. Okay, it using the programmable memory to store the instruction and execute the functions that include on-off control, timing function and counting function, sequencing, logical, arithmetic and data handling functions. Okay, so the design of most PLC is similar to that of other computers, normal or personal computers. Okay, but it is specially for the manufacturing process equipments and machinery. Okay, unlike an office computer, it has been designed to operate in the industrial environment. Obviously, in an industry means a controller need to run for 24/7, right? So PLC can withstand those temperature. Okay, because it is equipped with special input and output interface and control programming language, right? Yeah, let's see the architecture of PLC. Yeah. So yeah, before that, I would like to introduce him. He is Richard Dick Marley, who is the father of PLC. Okay, in 1960s he has introduced this PLC and he is a father of PLC. Let's move on to the PLC architecture. So as I have already told, it is similar to our personal computer, right? So our personal computer, obviously it is having a processor, correct no? So it is having a processor which is a brain of the control system. Okay, so before that, let's have a look into this power supply. Okay, it is used to power the CPU and other field devices, right? It is a source, it is giving the source to all the devices. Okay, and let's have a look into this input and output module. What does this means? It is act as a bridge which is connecting our input and output devices with the CPU. Okay, is used to give the communication between IO devices. That means field instruments like push buttons, switches, transmitters, control valve, solenoid valve, VFD. So these are all the field instruments. So it is making a bridge between those field instruments and the CPU. Okay, and can you find the optical isolation over here? Okay, it is an isolation barrier. Okay, to electrically isolate the internal components of CPU from the IO terminals, PLC employs an isolation. Okay, so and coming back to the CPU, it is a brain of the PLC and it is having a processor used to perform logic and controlling the communication among the modules. Okay, user can enter the desired circuit in the ladder logic program, okay, which is by using this programming device. Okay, the processor accepts the input data from various input devices and execute the program which is stored in the program memory and they send the signal to the output device. Okay, so and this one programming device, this may be a handheld device in our older days, and now we are using PCs and laptop where we are installing our PLC software and we will be writing the program into it by using the communication portals. We are downloading and uploading the program into and from the PLC. Okay, so these are all the main components we have in the PLC, and apart from this additional components we may have an operator interface device to allow the data entry and data monitoring by the operators. And the second one is communication adapters for remote IO so that the central controller can be connected to remote sensor and actuators. Okay, and the third one is the network interface, which is allow the interconnecting of PLCs with other controllers and the distributed control system. Okay, so the above three are the additional components, but these 5 are the very important components that you can find in all the PLCs. Okay, so let's move on to the advantages of PLC. Okay, let me share one more image. Okay, so advantage of PLC. So why we are using PLC over the previous control systems? Okay, let's see the first point, which is increasing the reliability. Okay, so here once a program has been written into the PLC and is tested, it can easily download to the PLC. Okay, since all the logic is contained in the PLC memory, there is no chance of making the logical error. That is one of the main advantages in a PLC. Okay, this program takes a place of much of the external wiring that would normally be required for controlling of the process. Okay, hard wiring is still required to connect the field devices, but it is very less comparing to the relay control system. Okay, so that's what it is, increasing the reliability. Okay, the second point we can see is it's more flexible. Okay, so more flexible in the terms like it is not really easy to wire and rewire the circuit, correct na? But in a PLC, changing a program will be very easy. End user can modify the program in the field, or if desired, security can be provided by features such as key locks and passwords. Okay, it is more flexible. And the third point we are having is a communication capability. Okay, so PLC can communicate with other PLC and other computer equipment to perform some functions. Okay, it can easily communicate with the SCADA systems, HMIs and other PLC and all. Okay, and also it is used for the uploading and downloading of programs. Okay, so comparing to the previous control system, here the communication capability is having more features. Okay, the next one is faster response time. Okay, it operates in a real time, which means the event take place in the field results in the execution of the output. Okay, and the next is easier to troubleshoot. It is having a LED indication, okay, to easily find out the faulty IO to fix the problems. User can display the control program on the monitor and watch it in a real time as it executes. Okay, by using all these, we are finding more advantages in the PLC. Okay, so this is all about the introduction of PLC. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.